Well, good morning. It's time for coffee. I got a lovely life lesson for the day, and that is don't burn the nachos that you're making the night before for dinner, because I promise they won't be eaten. And if you use all the cheese in order to make the nachos, and then you put them in the oven and you burn them, it doesn't work out. So this morning we got a new kind of coffee. This is the Eclipse Boundless Blend. Eclipse Coffee Roasters is in Canmore, Alberta, and it is one of our favorite places to stop for coffee. So if you're ever in Canmore, Alberta, visiting Banff National Park, make sure you stop by Eclipse Coffee Roasters. So they ship everywhere. This is the Boundless Blend. It's a smooth blend created to not only be great tasting, but also extremely versatile. Filter or espresso, with milk or without, no matter how you like your coffee. The limits are boundless. David Carente put me onto this blend when he said, "Hey, you guys are going to be in Canmore? Can you pick me up some coffee?" So anyways, we are excited. It's not even open, just came in the mail yesterday. It has tasting notes of cocoa, walnut, and apparently is rich, like my personality. Uh-oh, come on over. See, Sherry doesn't like how I open bags, because I kind of make a bit of a mess of them. So she has requested to come over and open the bag.
Look at the scissors.
Do we have scissors still?
Good question. At the end of this week, we will have very little.
This week is get rid of everything week. Getting my Time War C2 coffee grinder out. Got all the pieces. The little thingy ding. And the big thingy ding. We are ready to bound. How does it smell, honey?
Boundless.
Woo! You know,
Epic.
I thought I felt bounded this morning, but now.
The only thing that eclipses this is my love for you.
Oh, I don't believe you. Oh, it does smell good though. So the water's boiling. We're gonna get grinding, and then, you know, I got thinking of education last night. And I know that seems kind of funny, but that's okay. It all started back when we used to get calls. We're pretty good wedding photographers, and by pretty good I mean we're like listed as one of the world's best. Anyways, we would get requests from the school programs nearby to send interns our way for the summer, and we accepted a few times, and they would show up, and they'd be in, let's say, year 2 of the photography program at such and such college. Well, they get here, and they give them a task to say that the work that was produced was substandard would be an understatement. I understand it in school, you're learning, right? That's the whole point. But it wasn't like it was not usable or not sellable. It was like, it's terrible, like not good. And so then the question would arise of what are they teaching? Like, what did you learn? And they would tell us how they learned about you know, how the aperture works, and they would make a pinpoint camera so they could understand how light went through the aperture to the sensor, or to the film. And they would understand the difference between film and digital, and it's like, well, that's lovely, and I suppose you could call that an education, but it's so incredibly useless, because when they got to actually taking pictures that he would sell to another human being or another company, or taking pictures of a product, or trying to communicate something that they like, they had no idea. And so, you know, you look at that and you say, well, what then is the point? I went to university. I went to University out in California. I was there on a golf scholarship just before I turned pro as a golfer. And I signed up for the business program. One would think that in the business program you'd be learning businessy stuff. But in the first year, my classes were advanced English Shakespeare, early American history. Oh shoot, it's been too long now. It's been 23 years since I was there. I can't remember all the courses. Ha! Sure, he says, weren't you in Workout 101? I was a scrawny little kid coming out of high school, and I was 134 pounds at 5'7" when I graduated high school, and by the time I left university the first years, I was 157 pounds. I would work out a lot. That was fun. Anyways, yeah. So there was this place near my school called 24 Hour Fitness. It might still be around. I'm not sure. And I would go, instead of studying, I would go to the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning once my friends finally did go to sleep. But anyways, university is a time of not making the best decisions time-wise. But anyways, and so in the same as these photography students, me in my first year of university, it's like, well, this is just pointless. It's just like, well, they say, well, you're getting a rounded base of knowledge. You gotta have a wide understanding of the world in order to get a full education. Well, I'm sorry, I don't want a full education. I want the kind of education that allows me to actually do things and to do them with as little learning time as possible. Not as little effort. I'm happy to effort, but I don't want my time learning to be a waste of time. So when you look at some of these programs, so like these photographic programs, you know, they're learning the absolute foundational thing of how to build a camera, instead of looking at how to produce work that's going to sell. They're saying you need to learn about cameras and about how to take pictures, not you need to learn how to create pictures that people want to pay you money for. And so then when they get into the real world, ooh, that smells good. Look at that lovely bloom on there. That is bloomy. It does have a significantly bigger bloom than the Kicking Horse coffee. Puffs right up there. Ooh. I'm looking forward to this.
You're on fire!
On fire, Jack says. If you look at, you know, they were teaching the wrong thing. They're teaching how to take a picture, not what you should take a picture of or why you should be taking that picture, and then getting the skills to be able to do that and say, well, we got to give it a round bit of. Anyways, if you know, there could be some use to some of these programs if you wanted to learn the history of photography and where cameras came from and how they came about and why we use them and how they work, then that's probably the right program. But if you were trying to learn how to take pictures and to start a business and how to make money from that and what genre to go into and how to focus on a particular area and how to contact clients who would want to buy this, to hire you for photographing, or how to get into the fashion industry, then that's something that you have to learn on your own after. Well, if you have to learn that on your own after, why not just learn it to begin with and figure out who's going to pay you money and then learn the skills that you need to learn in order to fulfill the work for them. And it seems completely backwards because right from elementary school, high school, university, it's all taught in the same way, where we get this really wide base of knowledge that seems useless, and only after a long time and a lot of general knowledge do you get to specialize into something. And this I'm going to call it I'm going to call it paradigmical kind of thinking. You've got a paradigm of this is how to learn. You got to learn the basics first, and then you've got to learn more basics, and then you got to perfect the basics, and then you can, you know, advance to mediocre, and then to advanced, and then actually specify. Only works if you have a whole lot of time to do it. But for instance, the things that these people had learned at photography school in 2 years, you could learn in a day. watching the right stuff on YouTube, or listening to the right people, or going to the right conferences, or signing up for the right programs or classes. But you would have to answer the question first, what do I actually want to learn, and why do I want to learn that? Because if you said, okay, well, I want to be a wedding photographer, well, then you're going to have to know how to find wedding clients, how to partner with vendors. What vendor? They're building Lego on the table over there. It's very exciting. How to partner with vendors, what they want from a wedding shoot, so that you can help them. What shots are needed on a wedding day, how to talk to people, how to communicate to large groups. Oh, and then you have to have a camera with you and figure out how to tell people how to pose groups, to pose individuals, to take portraits, to shoot details, to use off-camera flash at wedding receptions or during the ceremony. How a ceremony operates, like the specific knowledge you need in order to sell your service as a wedding photographer is going to be totally different than your services that you would sell as a in-studio portrait photographer or as a fashion photographer. How do you, for fashion photographer, how do you approach agencies? What are they looking for that is going to help you to stand out enough to be trusted the first time to be hired for a shoot? What kind of portfolio images should you be creating in order to stand out when you hand in your portfolio? Do you need a portfolio? The lenses and editing techniques you're going to need for portraiture is a whole lot, for fashion is a whole lot different than what you're going to need for weddings, because with weddings you're delivering 1,000 photos. In fashion you're delivering 4, so those are going to look a lot different. But the general base of knowledge, in order to get to one place or the other, if you start from general, it's going to take you a long time to get there. Time that could be spent actually earning money or actually applying the things that you need to learn in order to achieve what you want to achieve, if you figured out what it is you actually want to achieve. So it starts with the learning anything starts with the introduction of what am I looking at, what do I want to learn, and then it goes to, okay, this is what I want to learn. Now, where do I want to end up and why? Well, that answer needs to be answered. That question needs to be answered before you start diving into it. Because if you want to one of my cups here is flowing a little faster than the other, so I have to slow down here on one, otherwise I'm going to get way more coffee in one than the other and it's going to be mixed up. Anyways, because if you don't answer the question why or what you want to do with it, or at least have an idea, then you're not going to be able to jump forward in the learning faster. So I look at it this way: you figure out what it is you might want to learn, and then you dive in extraordinarily specifically. I want to learn how to do a new trick on the trampoline. Sweet. What do you want to do? I want to do a full twisting backflip. Sweet. Well, because that, you're not saying I want to be a gymnast and learn everything to do with flipping and twisting and understand the dynamics of how your body's supposed to twist and move. I just want to do this one thing. Well, you can actually do that one thing really, really quickly, and then you get excited about it. I want to be paid to photograph a wedding of someone else. Well, when you're young, you got a lot of people getting married, a lot of friends getting married, and you can convince one of them to hire you for $100, $200, $500, $1,000, $2,000 to photograph their wedding. Well, you've just achieved it. You have gotten there, and as you do, you develop passion, and that passion, seeing that you can actually accomplish the thing that you want to do and do it quickly and well, that passion fuels you to learn the rest of the stuff you need to do in order to more quickly master that one thing. And as you apply this thing over and over, now the caveat is, as you apply this thing over and over, you learn all sorts of new stuff really quickly. And the downside is you have to either be outside the confines of in-the-box learning. So for instance, in school settings, you have to take the history course and the advanced honors English Shakespeare course. And so you're bound by somebody else's learning plan. But if you're outside that box, you can make your own plan. And I assure you that working in a way that looks at the end first, moves backwards, and then develops that end technique, it's just incredible. I call it bending the line, but you're taking the timeline of learning and bending the end towards you. And like if this is I'm going to start here and here's the end. You want to bend the end to the start. You want to learn that first. You got to figure out what that is and then bend it back. Well, the bending process is all about listening to other people who've already done it. And you listen for nuggets and little pieces of information that you can grab that can help you think through how you would do that thing. Last year, after 28 years of golfing and being only 5'7" and 160 pounds, I'd always been sort of the shorter driving golfer, so I didn't hit the ball as far off the tee as a lot of other people did. And so I'm like, you know what, I want to learn how to hit the ball further. Now, keeping in mind, I've played a lot of golf. I've been playing it close to 30 years, professional years and everything in between. And so to learn something new there, it's like, well, I've tried to get stronger before. I've tried to do things differently. So I came across this interview, and it was a strange little interview. It was actually an interview of somebody who had taken a 10-minute lesson with an expert in long driving, and he was recounting his experience of this 10-minute lesson with this long driver. And in it, he shared two tidbits, nuggets, gold nuggets of information that bent the line for me. And in 2 months, I picked up 32 yards and was hitting it consistently over 300 yards, which for me had never happened in my life. And that nugget was throughout the golf swing, every inch of your golf swing is powered by some part of your body. And those body parts change, but there's somewhere in everybody's golf swing that you're coasting. So like on autopilot, just not applying any power. And so the idea being, okay, yes, you're pulling down from here, but then what are you doing from here to here? And you can train yourself, you can retrain your brain, you can retrain yourself to change how your muscles fire and your muscles operate to the point where I was applying power throughout the whole swing. And then, now that you're seeing what your weakness is, you start to strengthen those areas in the gym. And for me, it was rotational core, this downward motion right here, so like lots back here, and from here through, so there's like the bottom, let's call it bottom 10% of the swing, is I was not applying any force through here. And so it was adding a new move through the swing. Well, all of a sudden, my buddies that I've been golfing with for years, I'm like, dude, what did you do and how? And so I shared and showed, and it's transferable, because once you're able to bend the line back to yourself and get to the end first, well, then you get so excited about it that you just keep going to the point where you achieve what you want to achieve, and it doesn't take long. So it's really exciting when you pick up something new and you learn it, and you figure out, hey, I can actually do this thing, and I can do it quickly. In fact, I would say that you could probably learn anything 10 times faster than the conventional way. Okay? And so I apparently have been doing this for many years, but I was challenged by a friend this past couple of weeks to take a look at that and to say, how are you doing that? Because I say do it naturally. Obviously it's a learned skill, but I have a desire to learn things and to not spend a whole lot of time on them. And I don't really like the convention of learning as it's laid out in school. I never have. Right from when I was in elementary school, I would argue with my teachers and whatnot. It's like, why do I have to do all this other stuff? That's not what you want us to do. You want us to learn this thing. Well, yeah, but in order to get to this thing, you have to learn this and this and this. It's like, why can't I just jump forward and learn this thing? So you can. Actually, you can learn however you want to learn. And I'm telling you that the jump forward method is a whole lot better. All right, honey, we have some brewed Eclipse coffee. So if you would pause what you're doing and you're Legoing for just a second and come enjoy this sip of coffee with me. You.
Me?
You. Boys don't want any coffee. Ooh, I just about spilled the coffee. All right, we got a little bit of vanilla in there. Because, I mean, this boundless blend, apparently, you can have milk in it, or you can have no milk in it. Well, right now, I'm putting cream in it, because, well, that's how I like my coffee. But it's boundless, so I can do whatever I want. Alrighty, we got one lid, two lid. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that's a good cup of coffee. You know how you say thank you to the coffee chef or the in-house barista?
You're welcome.